It'll go up pretty quick. I don't know who the builder is they've got for it. I didn't do
Yeah.
enough research.
They said like by the end of 23, it should be.
That was nice.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll text her if I have to and say, you need to come
And I got
now.
some kisses too there.
Yeah, I think so. Right, that clock is correct.
Yes, a couple of them are interested in getting tickets.
Wonderful. Well, I brought my
We're gonna
extras,
talk
but I
about
figured
tonight,
you could,
right? More.
I figured you could, you know, with my comments, depending on how long we run, because I gotta be back by 7.
It is
So if I don't, please do.
exactly 6.
Like if it goes long for some
Oh, you
reason.
got about 15 seconds.
Yes, open bar,
And left her seat, so.
Yes, drinks are included.
All right. Drinks
open bar.
What, 50 bucks?
It's beer and wine, soda, water.
All right, all right. I can tell
And
my wife
Amichi's
now.
doing our pasta.
I tell my
station.
wife open bar, then we're there.
All right, it being 6 p.m., let us call to order the February 14th, 2022 Leisure Services Advisory Board meeting. Happy Valentine's Day to all. There are calories on the table. Help yourself. And for our first order of business, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance led by a returning pledger, Miss Holly, and let us all join in with at the and to the Republic line, okay? Miss Holly?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Good, Miss Holly.
Thank you, Miss Holly.
Great job.
Okay, the Citizens Open Forum. Are there any citizens here that wish to speak? Please identify yourself. Name and address, zip code not required.
Hello, my name is Pam Settle. I'm at 439 Lakeview Drive. It's nice to see so many people up on the board today. That's exciting. I just wanted to come, a couple things. One, the theater. I saw that it was talked about at the council meeting recently when the developer came and showed updated drawings and still showing the Odeon Theater as he originally presented it, and that's really exciting.
Well, twice the size now.
Because it's exactly what we need.
Yes.
And it's hugely exciting for this community. But I got campaign materials, and the mayor is still saying he wants a black box theater. And so maybe he doesn't understand what a black box theater is, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention that, you know, it's two very separate types of theaters, and we need to be advocating for an actual theater with seats and a stage.
Could you give us a 30-second differential?
So a black box theater is just what it says. It's a box. It's a room with no chairs, no stage. It has some flexibility, but it's really designed to be for an intimate, like theater in the round, maybe one performer. You've got some folding chairs. It's very inexpensive, which may have been the original motivation, but it's not for a community that doesn't have a theater. It's for a complex where you have a theater and you need a specialty theater for a special kind of performance. But we are a needy area. We have no theater, so we need a real theater first. And I want to make sure that we're keeping that conversation on the right track. I've asked the council, and I'm going to ask this committee. I believe we need a separate, ad hoc committee put together to discuss the theater and what the needs are, not just in Oldsmar, but in this North Pinellas area. There are lots of experts out there who would love to weigh in and be a part of building something that could not just be an anchor for our downtown area. We could plan so many great events to draw people into the community. We could rent it and bring in theater, speakers, concerts, so much that we could bring to this community. And there are people surrounding Oldsmar that are really excited about the prospect of Oldsmar having a theater, but we need to do it right. absolutely no reason for us to screw this up and do it wrong. We have time leading in. We have one expert here. We have other experts in the community. Let's be proactive and thoughtful about what will the market bear. Just in my own research, we need 300 seats. Anything less than 300 seats will never make us money. That's the kind of information we can hear from people who are already in this business, and we need to bring them to the table, get information well before developers start, with plans and moving forward. We need to do a needs assessment and really thoroughly investigate this, because it could be potentially a wonderful thing for Oldsmar. So that was the first thing. I'm probably running out of time. The second thing, I just want to continue to encourage work on some type of organized teen club, teens activity. Whenever I'm working on a project, I always look at what other cities are doing. And so I can't help but look at other cities. I'm so jealous about what they provide for their teenagers. They utilize their library and their recreation departments. They bring people in from the community. They're involving their teens. We have teenagers, hundreds of them, who are bused to Palm Harbor to go to school. They come home at varying times of the afternoon, depending if they're middle school or high school, and there is nothing for them to do in Oldsmar. Nothing. Nowhere for them to go. Nothing organized for them to get to know each other, make friends, build skills, bring people in from other generations to teach them things. There's so much out there that other communities are doing that I would encourage this board to look at what some of the other cities are doing for their teenagers and compare and look at what our resources are. And I just really urge the city to make a commitment to that demographic in our community, because we're underserving them and they deserve more. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Thanks, Pam. Can I add to her comments?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Pam. I do appreciate you keeping it up and in the public. First of all, since teens was your last one, I know our goal is to get our teens to help come up with some things and work with you guys. So I hope that keeps growing in fruition and that we can build on that. The Black Box Theater, the mayor, John Buse, Chip, Felicia, and probably half a dozen others have heard from me very strongly that a Black Box Theater would be no different than our gymnasium. And we've talked about that if it's done, and I think that's why John Buse has gone to using the term Odeon Theater rather than Black Box Theater. Because traditional Black Box Theater is true. It's typically alongside, like Ruth Eckerd Hall has their Black Box Theater. It can be used for extra classrooms. It can be used for extra rehearsals. It can be used for small engagements. But we've got a room like that right now, and it's called a gymnasium. So they're hearing from me regularly on the stage, the curtains, the lights, the catwalks, and I believe part of the reason that it balanced out nicely, it went to twice the size, as John mentioned, because they've got to be able to bring trucks in and unload equipment. And as I've mentioned, we need classrooms in there, not just the one room. So it's very exciting. I think we're 3 to 5 years away from ever seeing it, but we are closer in 25 years that I've been on this path than we've ever been before. So it is a very exciting time. And thank you, Pam, for bringing it up.
So Pam, you'll stay in touch with Suda?
We do.
Very good.
And I agree. I would hope that we can get a group together as this moves along to give input besides just individually to individual people as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Any other citizens? Okay, we'll close that segment of the meeting. Move on to the approval of the minutes from November 8th. First for the van tour. I trust everyone had a chance to read those minutes. Comments, corrections, additions? Motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approval of the minutes for the board meeting of November 8th. Comments, corrections, additions? Motion for approval?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so be it. Item number 3, we will consider with the, with Pat, how do we put this in? Not choosing to sign up again for another term. We have an opening for a permanent board member, so we are to consider recommending Tatiana as our first alternative to become a regular member.
I'd first like to go on record thanking Pat for her many, how many years did she have?
20
it?
hit seasons, yes.
Yes, and she got her 20th award recently or something. So we want to thank Pat for all her dedication and time. And I know she travels a lot, and this is becoming more difficult. So we wish her all the best in her travels and life. And I know we'll all see her around town.
Not quoting directly, but just said that 20 years was enough. And Pat, I know I've mentioned this before, Pat goes back to when we had a separate, what was it, Parks and Rec Board? And then Suda was on the Arts and...
Cultural Affairs Board, yeah.
Yes, Cultural Affairs Board. So that's how long Pat was,
Yes.
has been
So
serving.
thank you,
So
Pat, for all your service.
Thank you, indeed. Yeah. So, a motion, any discussion or anything about moving Tatiana as the first alternate? Motion to recommend her to City Council?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So, Ann, that'll be March 1st, probably?
Right, March 1st, council make the formal approval to move you up, and this means that Pam will be our alternate 1, and then the next person to come in, who we're interviewing next, is for alternate 2.
And that being the next item on our agenda, we had 3 folks invited, but I do not see anyone who appeared, so
Right, none of them have showed up, however, just as a side note, Steve Phillips, you all did interview previously.
do we have an option on that, or should he?
You guys.
He should be here? What does the board think?
So nobody showed up?
Steve was here when we interviewed Pam and Tatiana.
And he did respond, he intended to be here. We did not get a confirmation from the other 2 applicants on whether or not they would be here.
Do we think that because it's Valentine's Day, that we may have a lack of people showing up today?
I don't know, we showed up.
There were snacks, and
There was an email that came out,
Is there
4
any
days ago
reason
about
we
cookies
don't-
and other food,
Is there any reason we don't hold them all off till next time? Do we need the position filled right now, or?
That's up to you guys. I mean, we should be able to make a quorum, so that would be the concern. I don't see any difficulty with
don't see
that.
a pressing need.
Okay, so I make a motion that we hold off and see if any of them would like to join us. And even though Steve's been here before, I think it's always nice to see their faces again, because I couldn't pick him out of a crowd, so.
I want
it
to
would
see if
just-
he answers the same way he did the first time.
Right, there you go.
He knows the questions, though.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with maybe some
We'll
new
change them
questions.
up.
And I do have a question. Would we?
Did we need a second on that, or did we need it formal or not?
Is there a question, Amber, about?
Yes, I had a question. So, is it cut off now, or are we still opening for an alternate?
We could open it and do a reach out to Citizens Academy alumni as well, if you want to. I mean, since nobody showed up today, we could do that and then just make the cutoff a couple weeks before the next meeting.
What does everyone think?
That's fine.
So, I mean, we only have 3, and one of them we've already interviewed, right? So, I say we leave it open.
Yeah, leave it open.
and Open it up again and see if we can get a few more. Maybe we can get,
Okay, so I make a motion that we give the 3 another opportunity next meeting and open it up to anybody else that would like to be on the board. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Second?
A second.
Aye.
Seconded.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. Number 5, the monthly reports, which we always appreciate. Getting the stats. Name, please. Just kidding. It's the
evening. Good evening, everybody.
Podium. That's the podium thing.
And happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And hopefully I can make my reports short this evening so you can go home and see your significant others. But
I'm going to
nonetheless, we're
theater
going to
rehearsal,
forge on, right? So anyway, just a couple highlights. You all received my monthly reports in the email. Just wanted to highlight a couple things because certainly the late part of that winter session is very busy for us. And our staff did one heck of a job with all of the holiday events, and I saw a lot of your faces out there. We appreciate your support. Couple highlights that we had over the past few months, going back into November a little bit, was Veterans Day. We had 328 in attendance at Veterans Day. So first time back out after COVID, really good attendance, great ceremony. The whole day went very well, and I think everybody enjoyed their time there and really enjoyed being back out in the community with everybody. The talent show was held. We had 13 acts with 100 in attendance. Our fall camp had 61 registrants. The holiday events, 100 people at our tree lighting ceremony, which was, if you were there, it was a very nice ceremony. It was really, really different because we had Oldsmar Christian School. They came up and they brought instruments with them, which we've never really had in the past.
Nice.
So we're thinking about rotating. The idea in the past has been rotate with Oldsmar Elementary, Forest Lakes Elementary, and just keep them in the rotation. Then whichever one wasn't doing the tree lighting would then perform down at the park during Christmas Wonderland. So we'd like to get Oldsmar Christian in again because they did a really nice job with their performance that night. It just changed things up a little bit. Christmas Wonderland, as I was speaking of, we had over 2,500 people in attendance that night. Had the snow slide back in operation, which was popular. Breakfast with Santa, we had two sessions with a total of 90 participants. The golf cart parade had 65 carts in it, which was super cool again. I mean, just people really outdo themselves with their carts. We really appreciate the spirit of the community and the participation because it really makes that event so wonderful. Recently, we had a hockey clinic with the Tampa Bay Lightning. We had 156 in attendance at the hockey clinic. And then for our winter camp, when school was out, we had 56 registrants. Moving on to project updates. The BMX is coming along nicely. I'm sure if you've seen that driving up and down Tampa Road, you see the walls are up, the 5 meters up, the 8 meters up. The VIP level has been is up to level.
You are up there.
What's that?
You two guys are good climbers. You really.
It reminded me of how steep it is actually up there when you get to the 8 meter and you're looking down. So anyway, they're still working on the foundation there with getting their levels and they're going to be pouring concrete for that staging area soon, and then also down the face of the hill. You'll see some more rapid progress as that progresses. Track work on what we call the track side, not the hill side, but the track side. Staff is hard at work preparing the track surface itself, the clay, which is screeding and gluing and clay work and all of that fun stuff. They're in the process of doing that now, and then also our leisure services staff, like facility maintenance, they're going to be repainting the bathrooms, power washing, or some fence repair, getting the shade structures back up. So it's all a work in progress right now, but we are planning on a grand opening for June the 4th. So mark your calendars. We're looking June the 4th, and that'll be a late afternoon, evening event. So we're probably looking at starting around 4 is what we're hoping to do.
And hopefully the following, February, we get Gator Nationals and
Actually, we're
stuff
looking at
back?
Gators in October.
Oh,
This
October.
year. Yes. Yep. So we have our first planning meeting for Gator Nationals coming up on Thursday. Our staff does.
Great. I knew we kept a good relationship even though we had the challenges.
Yes.
So that's great to hear.
Yes. Moving on, the spray park. We purchased a dumping bucket for the spray park. We had some funds available after the grant was coming to a close. So we did purchase a spray bucket, and I talked to the vendor on Friday, and the installer who did our spray park is finishing up a job in about 2 weeks. So then they anticipate getting him out there so that we'll have that tumble bucket ready for the April opening.
April opening for the spring.
April opening, April 1st. If you've had a chance to drive past Veterans Memorial Park, you've seen our new sign. If you haven't, it's beautiful. I mean, it's a sign, but it just really enhances the look of the park. I think it's just a perfect fit. Cypress Forest is next for the marquee sign. Actually, Alexis is in the stages of talking to the sign vendor. We've looked at some designs there, and we'll kind of present some to you guys as well. Trying to keep with the theme of the architecture of the building. Nothing too fancy, but you know, it'll look different than the Veterans one for sure. Let's see, we installed additional parking spaces at Cypress Forest Recreation Center. That's alleviated.
On my
Excuse
notes
me.
to say thank you. The 10 spaces are definitely helpful.
Yes.
Although on Thursday nights, I'm still all the way down on the other side of the spray
I hear
ground.
ya.
So my joking comment is it would be really wonderful if like 2 spaces were saved for teachers, because we lug so much stuff to our classes, and I laugh because it's not just me with 2 rolling carts and all the costumes. I watch the other ladies come in with all. So I knew that was a little out of the question, but I did want to let you guys know that one of the parents has already backed into the poles. The SUVs cannot see those low poles, and they're brown, so they're kind of blending. So I recommended first maybe consider painting them in yellow. And then because they're so low, I don't know if there's any kind of little uprights you can put off, you know, that might help those higher up vehicles see them.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I don't know how she got into it, but one of the parents already told me she put a dent in her car and backed into one of them.
All right,
because
we'll
she
take a
couldn't
look
see
at
with
it.
the SUV. So that was on my notes to ask you guys about, so thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see, 2 more projects. We have a bid opening for the Cypress Forest HVAC system on March the 1st. That's one of our capital projects this year, is to update the air conditioning unit in the
yay.
lobby and classroom area. The
good.
gymnasium is scheduled for next year.
Okay.
So, okay. Let's see, last project update is Alexis and I have been talking with the vendor for the renovation of the baseball fields, softball fields out at the sports complex. We're moving through that process now. I just supplied them actually a week and a half ago, and talked to them again, followed up last week, the verbiage that goes into the agreement, because it is tied to a grant. So they just have to sign off on that. He said he was going to take a look at that. Hopefully I'll hear something from him this week. We're looking to initiate that project in June sometime, once the Little League season ends.
Yeah.
And the vendor says, you know, it's plenty of time to get finished before the fall season starts. So we're excited about that one as well. So that's what I have for my project updates. Would you like me to continue on, or you have any questions before I go into upcoming events? No?
Questions? No?
Okay, cool. All right, so back in the fall, what did we have? 12 straight weeks of events in the fall. Well, we got our break over the Christmas, after holiday, you know, and now we're getting ready to jump right back into it. So we're getting ready to, we're in our wheelhouse again. And coming up here at the end of February, we start kicking things off. Our staff have done a wonderful job of planning events and really coming up with some different ideas, and just really running with some of the things that have been successful as well. So I'm just going to I started to write down the list, and the list is like this long, so I kind of pared it down just a little bit. But we have a family game night that's coming to Oldsmar Park on Friday, February 25th. It'll be all kinds of different games that families can participate in. We'll have music. It's kind of unique. Eric Pavlik, our senior recreation coordinator, put that together. So we're looking forward to a fun night for families there. Please mark your calendars. Little League opening day is February 26th at 11 a.m. I'll verbally extend the invitation to all of you now, and then I'm sure you'll get something from Ann more formally. But if you can mark your calendars down, that would be wonderful if you could attend. Let's see. Sunset Sounds comes up on March the 4th with Audio Star. It's an 80s type band. We have 2 events on March the 12th. We have a kids fishing tournament, which is at Oldsmar Park, but also that day in Oldsmar Park, over by the playground area, will be our Oldsmar in Orbit kickoff. And I'm sure you all have heard about the Oldsmar in Orbit. If you haven't, it's on page 18. It's on page 18 in the Experience Oldsmar magazine, and it's through the Communication and Arts department, and it's more of an arts project, but it takes place in our parks, and it's kind of really cool. If you're not, I'll just give a little bit of information on it. So the sun will be at a particular location in Oldsmar Park, right over by the playground area, and then there will be different, and there'll be a sign that kind of just depicts, you know, get a little information about the sun and the solar system, and there'll be a QR code that you can scan, and then that'll take you to a website that'll give you more information on the sun and the solar system and that kind of business. So, but then there'll be other signs throughout the city in our parks that are equal to the distance, relationship to the distance to the sun away, so you can kind of visit the solar system, mini solar system, through our parks here in Oldsmar. So that's a really cool project. Astronaut Nicole Stott, who is on the cover, will be in attendance for that as well. So hopefully you will all be able to make it out, and we'll have a good crowd for that morning as well. We have Movie in the Park coming up on March the 18th. Chalk the Parks, March the 19th, the next day. We're going to be doing 3 parks. It's going to be at Cypress Forest, RE Olds, and Sheffield. So we're going to have 3 locations instead of just 1 like we did last year. We have the Opal performance, which is coming up on April the 23rd. That's in RE Olds Park.
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid. And then I'm going to back up just a little bit. We have the Mardi Gras fundraiser for the Friends of the Arts, which is March the 1st. That is a Tuesday night. And that's at, I believe, 6 p.m., 6 to 9. 6 to 9. 6 to 9. So it's going to be a very busy spring. Very, very busy spring, and we're really excited for it. Again, staff are doing a really, really nice job with the event planning, and we have a new, as you met John the last time, we have a new recreation supervisor. This was his first go-around, short-time go-around to get programs in the magazine. As Pam had said, looking for teen programming. That's something that I've kind of tasked our staff with. John being, just a couple weeks in, and hey, John, the magazine's due. So now he's got an opportunity to start planning and get some of these other activities going. And I kind of follow up with that. I guess kind of with the teen programming, as Pam has said, trying to generate interest in teen programming. And as we get into the survey here, that's kind of what we're trying to get out of the survey when we get to that part of the agenda. So not just from teens, but the community in general. So kind of give us some direction. So that is what I have for the upcoming events. Just a little bit of stuff going on.
All in one breath.
All in one breath. Yep.
Questions, comments? Thank you, Chip.
You can't ask questions.
Chip didn't know this, but I found out about 20 minutes before we got hit the meeting today. We are replacing the wooden swing at our the old Friendship playground. We found there was some structural defect, and also it was not up to code. So I got the word that the vendor has the parts. As soon as we can get the old one out, the new one's going to be installed. So we have a brand new 4-base swing at REO's coming up.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you. Yes.
Isn't there exercise equipment coming up too?
The exercise equipment that we have that proposed in the fiscal 23 budget coming up. So we have our capital meeting this Thursday. So make our way through the process. Okay.
Thank you, Chip. The leisure services?
The learning moment, okay.
Learning moment is you?
I'll take it again. Here we go. So, and this is kind of good timing for us. Just wanted to give you a little heads up on how we handle our contracts with our youth sports organizations. So we have annual agreements with Little League, soccer, and football. Little League falls on January 1st through December 31st, and then football and soccer run June 1st through May 31st. So typically what happens about 4 months out, and we've already started the process, is that we start to review the agreements with the individual organizations. A lot of times there's new leadership and turnover. They are a volunteer organization, so you have turnover in the leadership, and somebody assumes the operations, but they don't know what the relationship with the city is, what can they do, what do they expect from us. So it's a good opportunity for us to meet with them, go over expectations, and kind of just reinforce, even if they've already been on the board for a while, to reinforce what we're actually, partnering with. Mm-hmm. So after we review it with each organization, we discuss field usage. Little League's pretty easy. They're the only user group there besides our renters, but since they have preferential scheduling, we get them in, and then we fill in our rentals from the backside after Little League gives us their schedule, and then we kind of, work together with them and coordinate with different usages there. With football and soccer, it's a little bit different. Because they have shared usage. We have the multi-purpose fields, which has football and soccer on it, both of them. And I have to say is that, we had, so John Lindsay, who now works for us, was the general manager for Oldsmar Youth Soccer before, when he was hired with us, he left the club. And then Sean Summerfield, who was the president of North Pinellas Panthers football, I really couldn't ask for. I thought I had it great with those guys. They worked great together. They cooperated, shared field space. They would give and take where needed. Mm-hmm. We have two new individuals: Jacob Plaza, who is the president of Oldsmar Youth Soccer, and Matt Samuelson, who is now the president of North Pinellas Panthers football. And we met with them today. All of our conversations with these two gentlemen have been productive, cooperative. We met together as a group for soccer and football to discuss field allocations. Do you need this? Yeah, I need that. Do you need, okay, I'll take that. Perfect, let's work together. I mean, what a great relationship. I've been in other cities before where it's just, I need this, I'm not giving this up. This is my, these are our fields, I don't get that here, from these two groups, and Little League's good with it as well. So anyway, so we divvied up the field space, discussing each other's needs, tournaments, things like that, home games, because with football, they have a jamboree at the beginning of the year, which then kicks off the rest of their year, which then, if it impedes with soccer and their schedules, they kind of, give, and then they'll take something later in the year that'll, like in October, that football would be willing to give up. So anyway, once that's finalized with the schedule, we finish the modifications to the agreement. We send those on to the city attorney. City attorney makes sure all the verbiage is correct and everything looks good. He sends that back to us. We put it on a council agenda for review. Once council approves it, usually it's the meeting before the month, it's the first meeting of the month prior to the contract renewal. So it gives us some time in case there's any hiccups or anything, which usually there's not. So once they sign off on it, it's executed by the clubs, and then they start their new agreement for the next year. So yeah, that's how we kind of handle our sports agreements. So if you had any thought of how does this happen, that's the process. So there you
We're
go.
so blessed to have such a great community that it's always been that way for us, that we all work together when we're sharing the same facilities and things like that, to try to make concessions when need be and shift things around and work around schedules. So we got a great community, and anybody that comes and joins our community, from renters to your regular sports, it's fantastic that they can all work together. That's what it's all about.
It makes our life a lot easier.
That's what it's all
a
about.
lot
yeah.
easier. Yes. So,
Washington should work so well.
right?
Agreed. Any questions, comments? Thank you, Chip.
Thanks, Chip.
Thank you, Chip.
And while you're there, the next item is the survey questions and the schedule.
All right. I can't tell you how excited I am about this project and how it's come along. First, I got to thank Joseph, and I got to thank Amber for their help. Joe and I sat down back in December, it was, in the office for, a couple hours or so, and we just looked at different questions and kind of pieced them together, what we thought might work, and we came up with something that we thought was substantive, but not overwhelming for somebody to answer. And then, so we went back and then staff reviewed them. We shared them with then Assistant City Manager, now City Manager Felicia Donnelly, share with her, say, okay, is this kind of the direction you think we want to go? And so she was all on board with the questions, and everything looked good there. And then Amber and I sat out at Bicentennial Park while the kids were playing on the playground. Oh, they're gone now, but they're playing on the playground, and we came up with a schedule. So I'm just really excited about this, because I'd love to see the involvement now that the board is going to have with this project, and really meet with the community. And this is what it's all about, is the Leisure Service Advisory Board meeting with the members of the community, listening to them, to what they want from a recreation, events, activity standpoint, and then bringing that back to us. Ken, you're going to be the one that's going to do all the digit work for us. So, come find out what Ken says the results are, share it, and then that way it provides the direction for me to say to our staff, hey guys, we were programming over here, but that's not what the community wants. We thought we knew because we were kind of guessing. We didn't have anything to go off of. But now that we have something that's hard and measurable, we can say, hey, now let's focus in this direction. So I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be worthwhile for us to do. I think we'll get some good information back. There are the questions. Now, did you guys all get the email that went out as well with the link? Okay.
Yeah.
Down the questions I thought was real good.
Yeah. So, and Joe, you might notice, because we did it together, that some of the questions are worded a little bit differently.
Yeah.
When we went to communications and marketing, we said, hey, let's put this on SurveyMonkey. She's like, well, maybe you want to ask it this way. Hey, I'm fine with that.
They know better than,
Do you know how to do it? Yeah, you're better. That's fine. So, so they look a little bit different, but the gist is the same. The content's the same. So, the idea, Alexis has some stuff that I'm going to hand out to you. We have takeaways today, because this is an extra one. This will be Ken's. I just wanted to show. So, this one says a name on it. Oh, there's Joe. Got it. I didn't see they had names on it. So, so what I've done here is I wanted to provide you with some information to take so that you can, so that we can start this process.
Thank you, sir.
And then Alexis, after you hand those out, there's a couple more over here that'll go out separately as well. So I think from tonight, what we want to do now, everybody had a chance to review the questions, and Joe, if we put them, everybody's good with the questions as they stand. Does anybody have any changes that they want to make to the questions? Okay, Ken, I think Devin has comment.
Yeah.
I got a
Everybody did get the email, right? With that. Did you get replies?
No, I didn't. I wasn't looking for replies. I was hoping to discuss it here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Devin,
Okay, I got a few things.
microphone on? Okay.
Should be.
Into the microphone, Betty.
Okay. First off, question 11, are you a current Oldsmar resident? I feel like that should be at the start. They're not a resident.
We do get a lot, we receive a lot more visits to our parks from non-residents as well. So not that it's necessarily more residents or non-residents, but we do receive a lot of visitations from non-residents. And we just put it at the end because we didn't want people to be...
And it doesn't eliminate it if they say no.
It doesn't eliminate it. The reason I think we put it at the end is because we didn't want to turn somebody off to answering questions ahead of time and say, oh, well, I'm not a resident, it's not going to matter.
Right.
You guys can go through this and they see this at the end and say, okay, it's...
Yeah, no,
it's
good suggestion, but because it's not reliant on that as
Okay,
far
so
as
makes
them
sense.
looking at the answers, I think that's a good point, but yeah, you lead off with that when only Oldsmar residents are allowed to apply type of thing.
Was
so.
that, Devin, was that your point?
I've got a couple other
Another one,
things
I
as
think.
well.
No, I mean about the moving that question.
Yeah, that was basically it.
okay.
So another thing on number 10, age of household members, I would change the 6 to 11 option to 6 to 12, and 12 to 17 would be 13 to 17. That just makes more sense as an age bracket to me, based on interests at those ages.
Everybody hear that? Question number 10? Devin suggests 6 to 12 and 13 to 17
It would just be
as
like
the
a
brackets.
1-year move, but it would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, and I knew I do my dancers like the 8 to 12s and stuff, so.
Yeah, more like,
Anybody agree with that, disagree with that?
I mean, I would go a little bit in between, like Suda was saying, like 6 to 8, 6 to 9, like 0 to 5, and then 6 to 9, and then 11.
From my experience, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. I apologize.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
From my experience coaching, there's a vast difference between that age group anyway. So with what you're going to see, the difference between like 0 to 6 could be together, but then from there, what the age group from like 7 to 10 is into is very different from what like 11 to 13 is into versus 14 to 17 even. And when you're coaching, you're kind of seeing that also. There's a huge gaps and huge differences between those teams in that age group.
Okay.
So it may be segmenting the kids' age groups a little bit more.
Okay, because if you can notice on the adult age groups, there are about 10-year gaps. And then as you get under the 25, they get compressed. So I'm up for whatever you guys,
I ask again, what will the significance be? Will it turn somebody off because they've got 3 kids in that same age group? Are we,
The question is only asking what it's not asking
it's more
for
of a demographic
opinions.
test.
Yeah, you know what? It is not. I agree. Now reading it again, is that it's only asking you the age groups of the kids.
Right.
not
It's more of a demographic question than anything.
anything else. You're not asking what.
We're just trying to get an idea. Okay, so
I agree it should be broke down differently if it had any relevance on decision-making or the programs we're looking at or the things that they're choosing from. But because this is just a demographics number, yeah, it was a good suggestion, Devin, but I don't think they need to rework it that much for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. And again, if we were going to look at this and go, okay, everybody in the 6 to 9 age group, we want to reach out to them because they're interested in this.
right.
But I don't think that's quite the purpose of this yet.
Correct.
Yeah.
And one last thing on question 5. The first option here says outdoor sports programs. I'd say probably change sports to recreation or add outdoor recreation as its own separate option. Because outdoor sports programs isn't very inclusive of other stuff.
So just doing outdoor sports / recreation programs?
Yeah, stuff like that.
That would work.
Okay.
I mean, because
That-
there is inside sports as well.
Yeah, you've got indoor stuff and
Well, we can add
You've got
sports
indoor
to
recreation.
indoor. We can do
Right,
indoor
yeah,
sports
keep it
/
consistent.
recreation and fitness.
recreation
Okay.
and fitness.
Yeah.
That would probably work for the indoor stuff. but
Everybody
I'm saying,
okay with that?
Yeah,
You okay with that? No, just kidding.
you
I'm
know
just
what?
joking.
I'm leaving.
Okay,
No, that's fine. We can add outdoor sports / recreation programs, indoor sports / recreation and fitness programs. Not a problem.
good spot, Devin.
Yeah, that just seems like it would make more sense to be inclusive of that.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Because the link's not live yet, obviously. We can go back and modify and change. I'll change the ones up that are on the paper here, and we'll just get new ones out.
Any more for Devin?
Nope, that's it for me.
Mr. Jackson.
I have a question. Why would you want to do it on the Surfing Monkey? Would you maybe want to move it to the official Oldsmar Leisure Services site as well?
So,
Well, once we post it out.
yeah, it'll appear on myoldsmar.com on the leisure services page, and then it'll also appear in social media, and we have the stuff that you've got here, and yeah, so it will go out on different platforms for sure.
Awesome. And
Is there-
I would also like to add a question. Like, what would be the most, like, for the age part, what would be the most change you would want to do differently? Like, would you want to make more change in the community for like younger children, or like add something for adults, or maybe the elderly? Like, what kind of things would you want to do for the age group that you have in your household?
So maybe a more specific, like if you're saying that, I'm trying to think of how you would word it, if you have children, what would you like to see? Is that what you're saying, you mean? Or if you're an adult, what would you like to see, you mean?
So number 7 sort of ties into that, with what specific type of recreation programs would you or your family like to see offered in Oldsmar? If I had children, I would probably say I'd want preschool programs, or I'd want youth basketball programs or youth sports. Or if I was more of a senior, I'd probably say something, I'd want more senior social activities or trips or, silver sneakers or something to that effect. We can certainly change up, if the board wants to look at changing some of the wording in 7, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. And then when you tie down to number 10, that's when we say, what's your age range of house members? And then you can look at the answers in number 7 and say, okay, yeah, they've got a 0 to 5, 6 to 11, and they've got 8 to, so you can kind of look at it from there as well. So it's up to you.
I think 7's good the way it is. I think you're gonna get enough feedback from the way question number 7 is. And again, tying it back into question number
10.
10. By tying those back in together, I think you'll get enough information to create an answer.
Yeah, I think we wanted to keep it like blanketed question for different people.
You gotta remember who's
to
filling
answer.
this out, is it's gonna
Give
be,
people the option to fill out for different,
the
whatever.
average person's gonna spend like 3 minutes on this. If it's gonna take them longer than 3 minutes, this
Yeah, they're
isn't
not
gonna
gonna
go
finish it.
anywhere.
So if you were filling it in, you're gonna fill in answers directed to what you wanna see. And then they're gonna see that the age group, below and type of things should be able to connect it in. It's a good point, but I think, and that's the problem, I'll tell you with these. They're so generalized sometimes, and that's the way they have to be done. I've been fighting it for a lot of years. But, sometimes we have to keep it fairly generalized to not eliminate anybody, but be able to include everyone. So it was a good suggestion, but I think we can flow with 7 the way it is, beyond a comment I'm gonna make.
The general survey, if we have other questions, people wanting to add more, we can let them know that.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a good point too, because this isn't something that just happens once and ends. This is something that will continue to perpetuate when we come back and we say, oh, wow, look, there's a lot of desire for teen activities. Then we start going with a survey, okay, teen activities, let's focus on that, and we start to hit that
A
population.
teen survey or teen like.
Or seniors, or whatever it is,
you want-
right,
Yeah, however you
right.
want to narrow it down at that point, after you get your general survey in.
Right, it's not a
then you
one
can kind of-
all be all, yeah.
Could you add another question, just says, any other comments you'd
That's
like
what
to make?
I was just gonna say, yeah. Can we do a 12 that says, do you have any other comments or suggestions?
Or before Oldsmar resident?
We can, my concern is that it veers from the path of the survey, because we're looking for community feedback on programs and program needs and desires. If we have an open comment, if we want to word it that says something to the fact of specific,
Right, do you
program
want to see
specific.
any of
We just,
these
it's not
programs,
like,
gotcha.
well, there needs to be, we need new trash cans in the
It
park.
needs to
or
be
we need new-
multiple choice
yeah.
for the most part, except for a few pieces where we've asked specifically text. Yeah, I gotcha.
Request to lower taxes.
Because I did that on the
Right.
survey on the art. I said I could only pick one for the art in public places, but I really would have liked to have been able to put a comment to say, well, this, it was visual and interactive or something like that. And I'm going, well, but some of the interactive is visual and some of the visual is interactive, and I would like to see it, I wanted to be able to make a comment to see, okay, if you go with interactive, let's do it as the, as this. So, but no, Felicia said no extra comments. That was it. Okay, got it. Understand. I do have a couple things when you're ready. I don't know where or how or if it even applies, but cultural events is only on here one time out of this entire 2 pages. So,
I was going to comment the same thing.
so for example, on that item number 7, it talks about recreation programs. Do we need to see what type of cultural, recreation or cultural programs would you like to see? This has always been one of the one-sided. It's a little more one-sided to Parks and Rec. So, I don't know where necessarily, except for that one spot I see there. Also, under Section 5, cultural events, activities, that's pretty generalized. And again, I could circle that, but, that's okay, does that mean that we just want to have an art in the park? Or does that mean we want to see more dance classes? Or does that mean, you see what I'm saying? So I don't know if we can just tweak a little bit or add another section in. I can see on number 7 that you do it recreation programs, recreation/cultural programs or something like that.
How about a phrase in question number 5, check all that apply and be specific? Something
Well,
like
that's
that.
what, we do have the other box
Oh, you do
that's
have
at
the
the
other
bottom.
text box there, yeah.
So we could say other/explain or something to that effect.
How about other recreational or cultural programs?
For number 5?
Find somewhere to get cultural in there more than one time on 2 pages.
So when I think of and Joe, maybe, do you want to speak any of it, or because I was thinking
Yeah, tell me your
number
thoughts, Joe. Tell me your,
We talked about this when we were going through it. I think we had it in cultural events twice, maybe 3 times. And what we wound up coming back to is trying to kind of because we had more questions than this, and we started
Sure, consolidate 'em,
consolidating,
right.
so that it's not so many questions. So when you only have 10 questions, how many times are you going to put one topic in?
well, one topic is well covered here, we know that.
Yeah, no, so I think it was more like blanketing, like again, with 7, type of recreational programs. You could say recreational and cultural programs in there. You could put that in there as well.
That was the only
Just to-
spot I could see
to
an
spe-
obvious,
to
just to specify.
cultural
Because I'm
events.
gonna look at recreation, I'm gonna think sports and football and baseball and what other types of things.
Right. So I think I think kind of like number 3 when I think special events. It's if there was a special event, if I was interested in more cultural events, I'm thinking, okay, I want a Latino festival, or
Right,
I want.
or I want an
So
art
that's
in
what
the
I'm thinking when I
park, or-
think special events. That's what I'm thinking in my
Right,
mind. So
right.
that's kind of why we left that number 3 wide open.
That's
is
right, I
there was
remember that,
special
'cause
events
when we were in there
in
too, we were talking
general.
about special events.
Right.
So could you change number 3's wording to be what type of special or cultural events would you like to see? And then you kind of cover.
Maybe recreational,
Or number
cultural.
7, because it
Yeah.
says a specific type of recreational program or cultural.
Yeah, I would recommend we look at number 7, keep it simple, and do what type of recreation or cultural programs would you like to see? And that at least gets
Yeah, I
another
think-
spot where they can fill in, I want to see, hula dancing, I want to see salsa classes, I want to see, so if you could just get one more plug in there for cultural, please.
You
I
guys
would
are good with that? I'll
appreciate it.
change it.
Yeah, I'm okay
that's
with
fine.
it. I think, well, like I said, Chip and I, we were.
Any objection to that?
No? No.
Do we need a formal motion or any of that, or
I
you're
don't
good?
think so. This
Okay.
is just something that we created
Okay,
together,
good,
so.
good. Yeah, if you can just get that one more spot in there, at least, I feel like it'll kind of drive home that, guess what? It's not only our recreation, it's our culture that we're,
Yeah, I remember we were talking about cultural events, I mean, specifically cultural events and stronger family, community
Correct.
projects, like trying to build,
Right.
you know,
Right.
young families, get their kids to get, you know, like try to like,
Because
How
that
do
was
we-
number 3 when we
Yeah.
said build a stronger community, families, neighborhoods, and we kind of just pulled it back a
try to
little
put,
bit
yeah, we
to.
kind of, because we were getting too specific.
yeah.
And it was kind of like, okay, let's pull back a little, but I think putting that in there is
Okay.
a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah, there was a survey done a lot of years ago that you guys had to pay a lot of money for. I think it was like $10,000 or something, and it was like 4 pages long or something. And it was all Parks and Rec, and there was like one question about culture in there. And I'm like, "Ugh." It was a lot of years ago, though. So, yes, thank you. That was,
Okay.
if we could just get that in there.
Okay, and
Mr.
just-
Jackson and Mr. Devon, is your age demographic going to respond to this?
I already have.
Put your crystal ball at, no, just-
But,
I know you, I
Old
know
soul,
you
yeah.
two will.
Exception, so.
I know you two will, but what do you think? Will your peers?
How could we get your demographic to get this?
I have no idea. Teenagers are weird.
Does it depend on
We all
if you have
know
a
that.
smartphone?
Tell us something we don't know.
Will
Yeah.
also add something to this. I've seen question 6, which is awesome. What are the most needed improvements that can make our existing parks better if the money was available? I don't see anything what would
Oh.
be a good improvement for the current event.
Or even culture, yes. Oh, that's true.
Existing parks or events, maybe? Just add or
Yeah,
events
just
to
add
question
events
6.
to the existing parks, because we already have a bunch of events, and if people find something that they'd like to add to that current event, they could put that in it.
And see, I would fill in Odeon Theater under that, but it
What
has
is-
nothing to do with the question.
Would that fall under number 9? What Jackson is suggesting?
Okay, yeah, I can see that. But that would be,
Because it asks, why don't they attend if they don't
yeah, but
attend?
I think that's why don't they attend is a bit different than what improvements would be needed.
Like, it's different than, well, I attended this, but I didn't really like this part of the event, and
Yeah,
maybe
like-
we could improve that.
Yeah, just like
That's a
how
little bit
we
different
added
from question
the
one, but I see where you're
cultural
coming
to 7, we could add or events to 6.
But again, you have that other and text box there, so they can write in whatever they want at that point.
Yeah,
So
but
you
it
have the
wouldn't
question, it's
include
wide open.
events.
I mean, they can elaborate on their own from there.
I mean, if they wanted to.
The other thing that applies, and it can go in the other box on number 9, is because they're choosing to go to another city to take those programs.
Gotta fix that problem.
One of the things I found out about the theater before I started it up was so many of our kids were going to other cities to take the theater that it made sense to bring theater to Oldsmar.
So where are we at on 6?
So do we get an answer from you guys about how we can,
I
how we
honestly
can
have
get
no idea.
responses?
No, I'm not gonna, it's good to get feedback. I believe that's certainly valid feedback. You know, but going back to the intent of this is to determine community needs and desires. Because right now we're focusing on needs and desires. If you want to throw something in there about how would you improve or do something, we can. That may be a desire for better events, so that's fine. We just have to figure out how you want to word that or put that in there.
And I think this
If
is
that's what you
it's a
want to,
good
if you want
start.
to add something else.
Well, I think this is an excellent start. You guys got, I mean, like I said, it has to be very generalized. It has to be somewhat limited, or you're going to get these things, 10 pages long and nobody's going to want to fill them out.
10 questions.
What to encourage teens to fill them out is just how we have to get to them. That's part of the key.
That's why you guys are here.
Every teenager's carrying around a cell phone in their pocket.
Right.
With that QR code, you could put signs up in the park pretty easily, and it's an easy stop for most of the people. You put them up in the dog park. You can put them up in every single park here. You put these signs up or banners with this QR code, and everybody can.
Right.
But
Everybody's
tell them
using
what the
these
QR
facilities.
code is about. Don't just say scan this.
So, I'll get to that point later. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, don't just say scan this. Tell them we need your feedback.
Right.
Here's
And-
here's what you scan. you know.
And
End of events, maybe like the movie nights they have in Orioles Park, maybe like at the end, like how did you enjoy this event we had?
so, and Jackson, maybe you're onto something, is, you know, we're trying to include Leisure Service Advisory Board members at our events. Maybe that's a separate thing where we have this survey, but when we attend events, it's a satisfaction survey. It's like, hey, hey, how's it? Hey, family, how are you? What'd you think of this tonight? Would you like to take a survey to give us some feedback on how you like this event? Maybe what we can do better. And that's a separate thing that we can do outside of this. So this doesn't blow up to be so big, and we're targeting the people that are actually at the events.
Yeah, and
Because
what
the
they thought of
idea
it
with
and-
this, the idea with this is not just to, like Kyle said, that's great. Let's get the people at the parks. Let's get them at our activities. But we want to get the people that aren't here.
Yeah.
We want the people that aren't here so we can figure out how to get them here.
Right.
Is there a way to attach that to some sort of way? I mean, we all get a City of Oldsmar water bill if you live in this city. Is there a way to get that inserted into the envelope that goes out once a month for a water bill? Is there?
Not yet right now, because that's going to be a battle. There was times that we had it, there's still.
I'm just saying that's one
is one
piece of
good
mail that
way,
we
yeah.
know that the city generates that is definitely going to hit every single household in Oldsmar.
But the one that's
no-
hitting every house in Oldsmar right now is the magazine.
Magazine.
So you put it in a magazine.
Right.
But the problem is the average. Some people get the magazine, don't even look at the magazine and
Yeah.
chuck it. I get this magazine from somewhere that I don't know how I got on the subscription. I look at it and walk it straight to the recycle bin every single month.
Right.
So I look at my water bill every month.
How many people, what's the percentage of paper water bills that go out?
I don't know that answer, but I know that
Idea?
I know the city in general has moved away from inserts in
they're
water
very
bills
adamant
for
about it right
for various reasons, whether it's printing costs or other reasons. But
It could be attached to the e-bill.
Actually,
E-bills.
I think Felicia put it on a hefty number that by removing it, it saved the city big chunks of dollars because
Yeah.
of the amount of time, not just to print a small quantity, but the sorting and everything else that had to go into it. So there was a substantial savings. And I'm terrible with numbers, so I could not
yeah.
repeat to you what you said to me, but it was obviously a very substantial savings that they took them away from the water bills.
Could it possibly be attached to the e-bill?
I'd have to.
Well, I mean, potentially, but you're still not going to reach, there are actually quite a few residents who are master meter communities who would not then. get it.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
So, but I don't know about electronically, that would be something to ask with finance.
Yeah, I can check.
But there's enough parks. I mean, we have a ton of parks. We have enough places. If there's a strong sign campaign, even if you just a sign campaign of the little, like you're seeing all these campaign signs right now. If you did a sign campaign of some sort of that, you
Put some in the parks around.
people are
various-
gonna get interested enough if they start seeing them around, and you make them. I mean, if they look like this, people are gonna start asking this question
But
of.
this is a good example. Are you going to scan this just because it says leisure services?
Well, we'd have to redesign.
I would scan it because it says input survey.
Yeah.
Where'd you see that?
It says-
But it's
Okay,
small.
it's in the smaller, okay.
Yeah, but we're not. We didn't say that this was the final thing. I mean, if we made that
We're
larger.
getting ahead of ourselves here. Let me.
Yeah.
When we get through the questions, I'll explain everything else here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. I have to go run theater rehearsal, so I apologize for leaving early. Thank you, everybody. Amber's going
Do we
to
have to
handle my
vote on this?
announcements.
Do we have to vote on this? No.
Yeah, do you have to, can we vote on letting me go, or do I need to stay here? I made sure I was here on time. Thank you, everybody, and I
Thank
do
you, Sue.
apologize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that doesn't mean we just have to do this one survey. I mean, we can do multiple surveys under just one whole entire bunch of surveys.
Do we have a projected date to finish this, Chip?
Yes. And I can. If you guys are we finished? Are we finished? Or you guys have any more comments on the questions, and then I'll kind of move forward from there.
I think I'm good on questions.
Yeah, I'm good on
Tatiana?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good, yep.
Awesome. Joe, good job.
it. Hey, thanks, Shit. Couldn't have done it without you.
No, thank you, yes.
Hey, thank you, Shit.
So that takes us to the next step in the process. Amber and myself, like I said, we met. You did receive a schedule, and let me before we get into the schedule, Amber, I'll explain some of the things that are handed out. So we have. Well, there's a couple of different ways that we like to handle this: park intercept surveys, on-site meetings, events, churches, things like that. So, park intercept surveys are if you're scheduled, you go to the park and you walk around for whatever designated amount of time you're gonna walk around, an hour or whatever, and you just visit people at the park. You kind of intercept them. Hey family, how are you? My name's Joe, I'm with the Leisure Services Advisory Board. We're trying to get some community input. Would you be interested in taking the survey? Okay, blah, blah, blah. And then there's other ones where if you're at the sports complex and there's baseball games or soccer games going on, we have a tent or a table and you sit there and people can come up to you, or you can just walk around and interact there at the park as well at the ball fields. Then of course we have our events. We see there's the VFW meeting coming up, Homeowners Association. I'll talk to that a little bit differently. But the idea is that we really want to kind of channel people towards the Survey Monkey. I did provide some paper surveys. I'll go back and change those up because we made some changes tonight. Obviously some people, you get to the park, they're not going to scan a phone. You can hand them the paper survey, ask them to fill it out, drop it off at City Hall or mail it in, or if they want to stand there and fill it out while you're standing there, hey, have at it. But the idea is with the Park Intercept survey is that, I'll be Joe since we created it. So, you go up to somebody in the park, they're at the playground, Devin's hanging out at the playground. Hey Devin, my name's Chip, I'm with the Leisure Service Advisory, or hey, I'm with the Leisure Service Advisory Board. We're doing a community input survey. Do you think you have 2 or 3 minutes to scan our QR code and fill it out on your phone? You as the member, you just hold that there, they scan it, you're done. Okay, that's what these are for. These aren't necessarily to be signs or anything, but if we wanted to make signs for parks, then we could probably put them on the Snipe signs, get some more information on there that says what it is, what we're trying to do, still using the QR code. So that's that's why they're laminated for you guys to carry around. The other thing that you have in your thing, they're a little bit bigger than I thought they were gonna be. I thought they were gonna be business card size, but we'll make them smaller next time. That's what I got in the inter-office mail today. But anyway, the idea is to shrink that down so that if you are out there and Devin's like, oh, I don't have my phone with me, but you say, okay, here you go. If you wanna take that, go ahead and take that home and scan it. And go have at it. So they were supposed to be smaller, but anyway. So those are the 3 ways right now is the paper, intercept, scan, or hand off and scan. So those are kind of the ways that we are hoping to get people to complete the survey. So this goes back, I'm gonna let Amber take over a little bit from here so she can talk about the calendar and the frequencies and things like that. My goal was to hopefully have initials or names, however Amber wants to do it, filled in on this sheet. That goes back to what Ken said is, when do we think we want to have this completed by? We've got March and April that we want to try to utilize to get the surveys completed. There is a homeowners meeting on May the 9th or 6th or something, May 9th. That's in Tico Hall. The idea there is that we get to the homeowners associations, we ask them to put it in their newsletter. We may have an opportunity to, I think what I might do instead of that is access the homeowners association mailing list, contact list that we have, and then we can send it out to them, and then they can include, the idea was for them to include it in their newsletter, their monthly newsletter, with our little QR code and a blurb, so that when the associations, when they send it out to their neighborhoods, they get their newsletter and like, oh, here's a survey, and they can scan it right from home. So we're just trying to hit as many that we can. So, just trying to think of all avenues. Kind of going back to what Kyle said is that, we want to try to get out there where people are not at where people aren't at our parks, whether you're at church, whether you're part of another service organization or something, or, we want to try to get out wherever we can to get this thing scanned so that we can get as much feedback as we can. So, Amber, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and you can talk about the schedule and figure out how you guys want to go about implementing, the intercept and everything else.
All right, and like Chip said, we met at Bicentennial Park one day, and my kids played, and they played nice, so it was nice. And it's pretty straightforward. We just have the calendar there, the place where we want to meet, all the different parks and different dates, so we just need people to sign up. Probably pick 2 dates.
I think 3 dates. Pick 3 dates on the Park Intercept.
Okay.
And then after the Park Intercept, where you see between the sports complex, the VFW meeting, the HOA, the events, choose 3 of those out of those 1, 2, 3 categories: sports complex, VFW, and events. I put churches on there because if you guys go to church or somewhere else, you can do it yourself. Talk to your church, talk to your organization, whoever you go to, and ask if you can do it there. But I think 3 park intercepts from each board member, and then 3 event/sports complex intercepts from each board member. So it's a total of 6 for each of you, basically. Okay. And then the idea for Devin and Jackson, I don't want to send you guys out into the regular community by yourselves. Not because I don't think you can do it. I just don't. I think that if you have an adult that's with you, I don't know what you guys think. If it's good to send them out on their own to intercept, or if you want them to kind of tag team together with you guys at one of the intercepts that you're doing, it's up to you guys. I don't know how you feel. I was just thinking that maybe a family out there and a teenager coming up to them, and it's unfortunate for you guys is from an age standpoint. There's a credibility issue sometimes, or what is this kid asking me to do, and why are you coming up to me, and but if there's an adult, it's like, oh, it lends a little bit more credibility to it.
I think if they're wearing their shirt, I mean, they're not 6 years old.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'll throw it out to you guys.
They're well spoken.
Yeah, I think they
It's
can.
okay going out on your own?
I mean, yeah, but I look like a criminal, so.
You don't look like a criminal.
Well, I think you're more approachable to the teens than us, too,
Yeah.
so you can communicate that.
I think
Certainly.
I think their target is they need to aim for the teenage kids.
Okay.
So whenever you specifically said, if I was in the park, I'd walk up to somebody like Devin, and I thought to myself, I'm not approaching a 14 or 15-year-old kid in a park. Like, I'm. This sounds like a bad idea. Whenever you said it originally, I was like, yeah, okay. So we have that right there. We have the ability to use them to approach those teenagers, and they could go from group 11 up pretty easily, because I think almost every 11-year-old at this point has a cell phone in their pocket.
Yeah.
So they could cover that demographic for us pretty easily, just in their normal. But if they have that QR code with them in their normal daily travels, they could be doing it also.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we all should be doing. We should all be able to have this with us on a regular basis. I mean, if you're sitting down at dinner somewhere and you're BSing with somebody, I talk to a lot of people when I'm out. So
I can see it now, guys. You can take a snapshot. You can take a pic of the QR code on your phone, and then you just text it out to all of your contact list friends and everything. It's like, hey.
The scary part is with all the campaigning and stuff going on in the city right now, a lot of help from the people who are running, the candidates who are running, could send that out pretty easily. They've got a lot of contact information right now.
I would keep it to the Leisure Service Advisory Board.
I agree. I'm just saying, in general, there's so much going on right now.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So in order to get it out, it's pretty easy. It would be easy to get it out right now.
So, well, I'll let you keep going with your scheduling thing there, Amber, however you want to do it. But I was thinking, if they're included too, then
Veterans
maybe.
Park dates. Is there any special times you want these?
No,
These are not. Nope.
unless people want a special time, we're pretty open.
I'll do the Veterans Park.
So we just want to fill it out now?
Days.
That's what everyone.
Why don't you? What I would suggest, Amber, is just go to Joseph, Ken, Kyle, Tatiana, and Pam, and just say, okay, what 3 dates in the intercept, or maybe go down the line. That way, everybody gets one chance at a.
Can I ask why we picked these dates, just out of curiosity?
So they're random in a sense. So I wanted a weeknight, like a weekday or a weeknight. Like for example, Oldsmar Park, I picked a Tuesday night because just a random Tuesday, in the evening. Then I picked a Saturday because Saturdays are a lot busier than the other days of the week. Then I figured, okay, what's another day? If you go to the park on a Tuesday, you might not go on a Monday. So maybe there's a Monday crowd. So we'll just do a Monday for Oldsmar, and then a Sunday instead of a Saturday, since we already hit a Saturday. So they just kind of flip. When you look through the entire grid, they're pretty well balanced between how many Tuesdays at all the parks and how many Wednesdays at all of the parks. So they're fairly balanced. Okay. So no rhyme or reason for the most part, just trying to balance them out. And like Ken said, it could be a morning, it could be an afternoon, it could be an evening, whichever one.
So this is March and April.
Only March and April, correct.
I'll do the veterans there, Amber. I'll take those. Is that all right?
Take both veterans?
Whatever, the 4 of them?
There's 4 of them.
4 of them? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And Chip, I can get something in the April Gala newsletter.
Okay.
The March one's already at press, but, okay. And I'll, as Jackson referred to them as the elderly. I'll need paper for
Sounds
in the
good.
clubhouse. I
Yeah,
mean,
we can touch
for-
base
for
before then.
Upcoming meetings, and a box, I'll take a box or something.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Now, also keep in mind when you don't have to choose just one park. Like you might want to go to Mobley and then do a RE Olds, and you might want to do a sports, a Richard Rogers and a Cypress. So keep that in mind
Yes,
as
don't
well.
be greedy and take
Are
all
we
the
just
Veteran
telling you
Memorial
what we
ones.
want to do, or do you want us to sign something?
We can start, you wanna
Okay.
go?
I'll ride my bike there.
You want me just to,
Yeah.
so I just need clarification though, Thursday, 6:30 PM at Tico Hall. There's a VFW meeting that's Thursday, April 7th, is that right?
That is correct. So
A little more clarification, so there's some type of VFW group that meets there in Tico Hall at the library?
yes.
Right.
Yep.
So I would just go in with these.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. You can either take your paper ones or you can take your code and just.
Correct.
VFW.
Okay.
Okay,
Someone else say that though already?
Nope.
No, okay.
So the upside to what you just said though is that that's something you would normally attend, correct? Is that
No, but I'm at the library a lot. I mean, I don't need to, I don't care that I'm
Right. She's not part of the VFW. She was
No.
just was at the library,
I'm
so she
saying-
said she'll take
so
that.
like I'm trying to think of where like each person's gonna get the most reception, and I know we're kind of going a little further than we should today, but like I'll do better at like Little League because I'm a Little League dad. I know that stuff well, so I know that if you guys put me on Little League, I'm gonna do fairly well there.
Okay.
You know,
I think that's a good idea.
a lot with veterans and normally military stuff anyway.
the parks themselves, those are going to be pretty easy, you know, for everybody. Any of us should be able to do that in the park.
Yeah.
But the ones where you got to go and you got to like interrupt somebody who's doing something for their child,
Right.
at an event like that, you're going to need somebody who's or you're interrupting a situation, you're interrupting an HOA meeting, you know what I mean? You're kind of interacting with those people. They're there for a set agenda.
Right.
You're going to kind of need somebody who can blend in there and kind of make that
Now
happen.
with these, like for example, the HOA or even the veterans, what we would do is you want to get on their agenda and you
yeah.
probably go at the beginning and just say you'll be there for like 5 minutes and then you're done and then you're pretty much,
Those kind of settings, I'm just saying, I mean, is anyone else more involved with that group?
No.
No.
I'm not.
I think you're good.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have two more you'd like to
Sure,
call now, or no?
someone took Veterans Memorial Park all the dates then, or?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I knew who that was.
I mean, are you up for switching, or you just want to be?
No,
a
how about
veteran
Ariel's
director?
Park on, April 19th is, it's March 19th.
March
I'll be
19th.
away, yeah, sorry. Monday, April 11th at Ariola's.
Okay.
Monday, April 11th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then one more, maybe the Spray Park on Monday, the 21st
Okay,
of April.
Monday the 21st,
of April.
April
We
21st.
say that's a day situation, Monday, they're just reopening, you said in April. So
Correct,
that'd be
April
during
1st.
the day, because they're not there at night, right? I
Well,
don't
it'll probably mostly be during the day.
Yeah,
people
so
are
just
there
pop
at night.
over there at any time.
Or you can go, and even not just spray up on the trail around the area.
Yeah,
that-
right there
so,
where you showed
yeah.
me when I was,
yeah.
yeah, the tour.
So
You got
let's
those, my
see.
three?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So the 3 would be, there would be 3 in the intercepts and then 3,
Oh, we need 3 more.
and then
events.
3 underneath of anything after the intercepts.
And where does it
So
start?
3 on the first page and then 3 on any of the subsequent pages,
Oh,
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you got to do those special events.
Yeah,
So
'cause we-
Oldsmar Sports Complex, VFW meeting, Oldsmar HOAs.
3 of one of those.
So I need,
So Pam, you need one more up top on the first page.
sure, okay. How about Sunday the 3rd at Ariel's Park then?
okay.
And then on any of the next pages, you need 2.
Would that be right?
You need 2 more on any of the next 2 pages.
Okay.
And there's actually one on the last page too, but that's a
Okay.
special event.
How about, try to make this quick, I realize. Friday the 1st of April at Sunset Sound.
Sunset Sounds,
Okay.
okay.
Sounds good. And then one more.
Then one more, how about movie in the park on the 15th of April?
Okay. Sounds good.
That's, Easter weekend, but that's cool, we're here.
It's Good Friday.
Okay, so that's, yeah, that's fine. So it's 3 and 3, got it? Am I good?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll go and just say mine. I'll do all Bicentennial Park. That's close to me, and I go there a lot. And I will go ahead and take,
So Amber, you're gonna take all 4 bicentennial parks?
yes.
Well, you only need 3 on the first page, but you can have,
Oh.
if you wanted to have 4, you can have, if you guys are okay with it, it's up to you.
I mean, I can do all of them.
Well, I mean, we can also add somebody to it. You can also, you know, put an alternate day in there. Somebody needs
Yeah.
to add a day.
I was gonna suggest that we didn't, it wasn't listed, but our organization, Tampa Bay Kayak Anglers, is gonna be doing kayak seminars starting in March, at the end of March. So we're gonna be there Saturday and Sunday, the last weekend of March, and then the same thing with April, last weekend of April. Even though that's not in the calendar, would that be something that we could do? It's gonna be at Mobley Bayou.
So
Because
this
we're gonna
ca-
be there already.
Yeah, this calendar is just kind of saying, hey, we're locked into this, but if you've got something outside of that, absolutely go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll do all those, and I forgot the dates exactly. I know March is like the 26th and 27th.
What's it for again? What was it?
It's Tampa Bay Kayak Anglers. We're gonna be doing kayak fishing seminars. So,
So what I would say is those would fall outside of this calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can do that, but
Additional
certainly get
to
your,
what
yeah,
is-
in addition to
perfect.
these. Yeah, so we want to make sure we hit these.
Okay, and then for special events, I'll take Saturday, the 23rd of April, the Opal production.
Saturday 23rd, okay,
And I'll take Kite Day at Sheffield,
okay,
April 9th.
okay. So that's 6 for you.
Joe, are you ready?
No? No pressure.
And Joe's first
No
pick in the
pressure.
2022 Fantasy Leisure Services
I don't even know what
Draft.
I'm doing tomorrow, and you want me to figure out what. Nuts.
I mean, we can come back. if-
No, I'm kidding. I think I can figure this out. Oldsmar Trail sections, are those specific sections or any sections?
And
I walk from, I take my kids from Sheffield to Arioles like pretty frequently through that trail.
yeah, I would, just different sections, you might have like over by Harbor, over in Harbor Palms area, you've got the Cypress Forest area.
Okay.
Maybe down along the trail area, down by the beach.
All right.
And that's just intercepting people on the trail.
I'll take 3 of those.
Okay.
Any preference?
Let's say,
I'll take one of those on a Thursday if I can have that
all right.
one. I'll take the Thursday.
Take the
Saturday.
Thursday. I'll do Monday,
You got Monday and Saturday?
Saturday, and the 2 Saturdays. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Those are cool.
Sounds good.
And then
So you got 3, so you need 3 more on the next couple.
for that HOA meeting, I just gotta contact them before I go out there, or?
Yeah, I'll work together with you on
All
that.
right, I'll take that.
Okay,
Okay, Joe has your night.
And then I need 2 more.
2 more.
Fishing?
Let's see. The Easter egg hunt. Did anybody take that?
Nope.
Nope.
I'll do that.
April
And
2nd. Okay.
and Kite Day for sure.
Oh, I have
No,
that
you
one.
took that. Oh my
But
bad. I'm
you can
sorry.
take
No,
it.
I don't want it. Forget it. Okay.
The park.
I'm
Now,
talking
if
the
there's
park.
something like that,
New
like
check.
that's a good example. On an event like that, both of them are going to be there.
Yeah.
Could they both
Fine.
take it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can both do it, that's fine.
I'll
Probably be a lot of folks you could.
I'll do the chalk in the park though, because I'm definitely going to that.
Okay.
So the 19th chalk in the park?
Yeah.
Okay.
So am I
But you
good?
can come help me. I'm
I'll
fine.
help
No
you
problem.
anytime you need me. I'm there for you.
Okay. So,
Ken
yeah.
has 4 for Veterans Park, so it's the
So-
special events.
Want me to do a Richard Rogers on the, I don't know, Sunday the 13th?
Richard Rogers, where's my list?
What else would you-
Well, you got plenty of the front page. It's more of the special events.
Okay, you wanna,
Yeah, it's the
You-
special
you buy
events is
yours-
what we need.
you need help with the chalk thing? On the 19th, or you two guys?
I'll take all the help I can get.
Okay, where is that, at Sheffield?
There's one at Arioles, one at Sheffield, and one at Cypress Forest, so there's
And I'll
3.
do Sheffield
So
on the 19th,
Okay.
how's that?
Oh, so they're all split?
they are split.
Oh, I didn't realize.
But,
So,
but I'm sorry, there's one on paper, there's just letting you know that you can go to either of those events, you don't have to go to all 3.
I'll do the 19th.
Sheffield?
Yeah, I'll do
All right,
Sheffield.
I'm saying someone could take one of those locations and be,
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so 3 of us could technically take that day and be at that location that we want.
Sheffield and Veterans and Richard Rogers.
Joe, did you take Easter egg?
Did I? Yes,
Joe took
I did.
Easter egg.
I'm all over that.
Sorry, I was writing them in. I knew I missed them.
So Ken, Ken has veterans for 4.
Yes.
Richard Rogers on the 13th.
Okay, you're doing Richard Rogers on the 13th, okay. Ken's, Okay.
Can do Saturday the 23rd there too, if you want, at Richard Rogers,
Okay, sounds good.
and the chalk thing.
And the chalk, got you on the chalk. And Joe's doing chalk as well, right? Okay. All right.
Great. Kyle.
I'll do Moby Beach on Saturday the 16th. Oh, wait, hold on. I apologize before I say that. I'll do Little League Saturday the 16th.
Okay.
And I'll do Little League Saturday the 26th.
Alrighty.
And all the rest were assigning to Suda, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I,
And Ken over here as well, LaCroix.
And I'll do Movies in the Park the 15th.
Be in the park on, Pam has the 15th.
Pam has
You want to do the
that, But you
18th?
can do it together.
What time is it?
Movie in the park starts at 7.
7. We go, obviously we'd be there like.
It's a big event. There's enough people for two of us to
Yeah,
knock
I
that
think
out.
so. I've been to,
Yeah.
so.
And you'd want to get there probably, I mean, 6 or, I mean,
36.
quarter after 6 or so, because people start showing up around 6:30, and then it really gets busy in there. And
And then as far as regular park on the front and park intercept surveys, I've already got Thursday the 7th. I'll take Wednesday the 27th at Richard Rogers, unless anybody else has that. I didn't fill it
nope,
in.
that's open.
And then I'll take Tuesday the 1st at Orioles if nobody else has that.
Sounds good.
March 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
So Kyle, you are doing Friday the 15th, moving the park too?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Is that enough? Or do you guys need me to take anything else?
Fine.
Oh, I'll do family game night the 29th. That's on the very back page.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
I'm gonna try and get my kids to that one.
Sounds good.
oh, yeah.
Okay, Tatiana.
I'll do the fishing tournament. I'll be there. And then for the parks, I could do any really. Did anybody take the?
We have nobody at Mobley yet.
Yeah, I'll do that on the 24th
Okay.
and the 6th and the 18th.
Okay,
It's
so the
Mobley Beach
24th.
Park, correct?
Yeah, Mobley Beach.
Actually, on the 6th, I can't, not the Sunday one, but I could do 24th and I could do the 18th.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, what else is available? I feel like I missed some.
I did too.
Well, Orioles, the 19th
I'll do that one as well.
19th Orioles, Tatiana?
Yeah.
of March.
Yep. So Orioles is full, Bicentennial is full, Veterans is full. We've got the 6th and the 16th at Mobley Beach. We've got the 29th at Richard Rogers. So at Cypress, we have the 16th, 27th, and then the Saturday, the 16th or the 24th. And the reason I have two of them on that date is because that's when the spray park is now open, so I figured, okay, let's...
The problem is that some of your Saturday dates for the parks conflict with Saturday events on Oldsmar Sports Complex.
Right, so we don't want the same person to choose that
Sunset
same...
Sounds, yeah.
Yeah, so we don't want the same person to have that, choose that same
Yeah.
date. And let's see, we have two soccer dates open, the 8th and the 15th. And we have a Sunset Sounds on the 4th, so those are the only ones that are open.
Amber, you can be in touch with Ken and Suda maybe for,
Yeah, Suda will take, I mean, I would imagine
Ends.
Suda will take some of
Yeah.
these too.
with
As long as
Ken
I'm allowed to. Is
also.
that allowed?
I think it's probably best if we just send the dates to Ken and Suda, and they respond with what
Yeah.
they take, and then I'll just
Okay.
fill it in. So Chip and I can send those out.
So we got 9 dates that are open right now. So between the two of them,
Yeah.
5 and 4 should be able to handle that, I believe.
Do our teens, take any of those? Or are they doing
They gonna do their own.
different? Or what do you guys want?
I would encourage the teens to do a lot of it on their own with intercept surveys. And I would also encourage them to try and come to some of the events that they go to. So if you guys could do intercept surveys with the teens at, I would say, movie night in the park, if you guys actually go to that. What other events do you guys go to in this? Neither one of you are playing Little League, or you guys play
Breakfast with
Little
the
League?
bunny.
I know Devin's got a little sister, so you might be tagging her along somewhere.
and I would,
Devin, do you guys attend any of these events that are on the special events side of this? the Sunset Sounds. I thought I saw one of you there when I was there last time.
Yeah, I think that was just my sister, though. I really don't attend a lot of these because I have to do schoolwork.
I would suggest wearing your shirt when you're, at least it has a little bit of identification on it.
You guys should definitely do Breakfast with Bunny. I mean, that would be.
Sure. Don't look that excited about it.
They're not 6 now.
I know.
Sure the words that were just used in
Way
that
to go.
sentence.
Kick him in the knees, Ryan.
Don't weather
Okay,
down.
Chip?
I think that's good. I'm exciid. I really appreciate.
Good job by
you guys
Amber and
helping this.
Joe.
Yes, good job, Amber and Joe.
Getting it all together.
Pretty good.
Good job. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down for a second.
Hey, Chip, you did a great job, man.
So the one that you have there, Pam, that's if somebody says, "Oh, I don't have my phone, but I'll do
You do
that
right now,
Here,
but
my phone's
here.
in the here. Take this or scan this."
Sure. I don't want to get in it right that minute, but.
Hey, this is gonna be really good, I think.
Good job again, guys.
Get out there.
All right, any new business anybody wants to bring up?
I know we've talked.
I'm like reading. So my husband and I have a nonprofit organization. It's about kayak fishing, and we talked to Eric with the leisure department, and we're gonna be hosting a series of kayak fishing seminars starting in March. It's gonna be Saturday and Sunday. Maximum, 10 people. My husband is a ACA kayak instructor, so because of regulations, we're only gonna be doing 10 people per class. The first class is gonna be strictly in Spanish. Everybody's welcome, but it's gonna be taught in Spanish. The reason why we're doing that is because when we started the organization, we really began because during the pandemic, a lot of Hispanic people were reaching out to us asking about kayak and fishing, which is something that my husband and I have been doing for 12 plus years. And so we felt like it was a whole new community that we could welcome into the sport. So we're gonna be doing the first one in Spanish, the second one will be bilingual. We are working to do some that will be female oriented. And yeah, we're just kind of, it's gonna be our first official event. So we're just getting everything down packed and getting it worked. It's gonna be free to the public. I'm working with sponsors so that each participant can take a tackle box and a fishing rod with them. Why do we want to do it free of charge? Specifically with the Hispanic community, because it's something like new that we're bringing into. I felt like it was just something for them to, I don't know, a niche, bring them on and, come on, we're going to take you out on a kayak. We're going to provide the kayaks and you're going to take this at the end of the day. And then we're going to register them to, create our community. And yeah, that's what we're doing in case anybody has any issues. Unfortunately, we signed documents late, so we weren't able to be on the magazine. But I was told that they're gonna be making a social media ad. So, and people will be registering through the city of Oldsmar.
Where is this gonna be at?
It's gonna be at Mobley.
At Mobley?
Value, yeah. So it's gonna be 4 hours, but we're gonna start with out of the water, making sure, really this is for new people. People are new to the sport of fishing. So we're gonna do it outside of the water first, make sure everybody gets comfortable with the rods, how to tie a knot, throw a cast, and then we'll get in the water, make sure everybody feels comfortable paddling, and then we'll go ahead and go fishing. Everybody's welcome, 12 and up, because this is our first event. We wanna see how we do with the kids first. And then, my 7-year-old, she knows how to paddle. So hopefully I want to be able to bring younger kids. But again, because it's our first event, I want to make sure that we're comfortable.
Is there a sign up or like?
The city of Oldsmar is going to be creating the link and then we'll share that.
Cool.
Best wishes, very good.
Actually, Alexis brought up a good question, Pam. Maybe it's for adults as well, right?
Right.
Do adults, since you're going to be on the water, they need a fishing permit?
So I'm talking to Florida Fish and Wildlife because we are trying to, in part of the partnership, we're trying to see if anybody that goes there we want to be able to give them the fishing license. I had them register right there, and it will be covered by our organization, the cost. Again, trying to, bring people, because that's a big issue, especially with the Hispanic community. Nobody has fishing permits. Like, we're so used to the way we do things back at home where, it's like, and that's part of the reason why my husband and I started the organization, is because when the pandemic started and we were going out fishing, we were like, hey, I want to go fishing. And then the first question was like, do you have a permit? And they're like, what? I need a permit? No, I have my license. And so we saw that there's a lot of education that needs to be, spread.
That's cool.
So we're hoping, we're talking to Florida Fish and Wildlife. We're hoping to have a computer there so that we can sign people up, and we'll cover the cost of each one.
You know, you can do a lot of that from your smartphone too.
I know, but
But I mean, if somebody's there and they have their phone with them,
right.
they can do. a
So
lot of
like,
that
I
from
just
their
want to make sure that they do it, because it's so important that they get that. So if they're like, oh, I'm too excited about their fishing
Do
or
later,
something,
do later.
here, give me your license, I'm gonna do it right now for you.
Yeah.
So, but
And
yes.
you guys are gonna work on regulations of like what they can and can't
Yes.
keep and all that other stuff.
Yeah, actually, Florida Fish and Wildlife is gonna have one of their representatives there, and they're gonna go out in the kayak with
Be
us.
interesting to see. I'd like to see how that goes.
Yeah, I'll send you
I
the
want to
link.
check it out.
Yeah, I actually do a lot of kayak fishing, so it's
Cool,
interesting
yeah,
to
I
hear.
mean, we love it. I mean,
Any board, let's combine the new business board comments, any open forum.
Was there?
Go ahead.
I know we've had conversation about doing a few more meetings a year rather than just the 4. Where is that at? Is that a mute point now, or what are we doing?
Council said they needed more evidence that we would need more meetings, so maybe with the survey that could show that we.
I mean, it
Good.
shows.
Possible.
I
That's
think
possible.
tonight's meeting shows. I mean, we're at 7:30. We're an hour and a half in, and we're trying to jam stuff in to a meeting on a holiday night where everybody's,
Yeah, figuring out that schedule, I'm shocked how quickly we did that. Because
Yeah.
that could have been a.
yeah.
But I'm saying once the survey stuff starts rolling in, we may have to have that conversation again. So we should probably.
Well, maybe once we, like you said, once we get the survey gets in, now we got all this more information to take in and
We
items
can
to
always
talk
call
about.
us, we can always call a special meeting.
Okay, that's good.
We can, we have that option.
But yeah, I like your suggestion, Kyle, and my recommendation is like, come back in May, we'll talk about it again, and then move from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that we need 1 a month, but I also don't know that 4 a year is enough.
Because we had suggested 6.
Yeah.
But it was voted down by council.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Joe?
I think we covered it. I think we did.
Amber?
This is board or new?
Comments?
Okay.
New business?
Well,
Take your pick.
I'm also on Oldsmar Friends of the Arts Board, so Sita asked me to talk about that. I don't know if this can be zoomed in or not, but it's just, no, yes. Okay, so it's our Mardi Gras Gala, and it's gonna be on Mardi Gras, Tuesday, March 1st, from 6 to 9. The ticket price is $50 for tickets, so if anyone's interested tonight, let me know. It is gonna be outside the library in a big tent. It's gonna be the location. And there's going to be lots of prizes, going to be contests, food. We have different vendors that are going to be there. So that's about all. I think it'll be a good time, and it'll help support.
March 1st?
What's that?
1st?
March 1st. So I'll be supporting Opal Theater, the Student Dancers, Oldsmore Community Choir for this event.
Yeah? Yeah, gentlemen? Comments? New business? You'll be out on the street. Okay.
Just one more thing. I will go, don't start your surveys just yet or getting them out into the community because what I want to do is go back and redo those questions that we had. I did have paper ones to give you tonight, but I'll change those. Once we make the paper ones, I'll get with Deb and we'll get the QR code link all done with SurveyMonkey. And what I'll do is either I'll send an email out to everybody that says, okay guys, we're live. When you get that email that says we're live, if you want to do it before you go to your intercepts or whatever, that's fine. We'll just start getting it popular. But wait till I say live and I'll find a way to get you guys. Maybe what we'll do is I'll make the copies and leave them at either Cypress Forest or my office and you can come pick your paper copies up as well. So wait till I say go live.
Okay.
Chip, one more question. Are you going to send that back out for us to proofread one more time, or are you just going to tell us to go?
No, just kidding. if you feel like I need to proof it, I'm just gonna add a couple words and that's it. I mean, if you want it, or if you trust me.
I trust you.
Okay,
I
good.
just wondered.
And just try to, it's not always a violation of the sunshine law, but just try to reply to Chip as opposed to replying to, unless it's, something so general that we're not voting on it, but just be careful. The sunshine police may be out there.
Very
Sunshine law.
scandalous.
Just be careful, just be careful, Okay, anything else, folks?
No.
Thank you, gentlemen. Motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So be it.
All right, go see.